Every day, something dramatic happens in the Caribbean that affects our lives. We'll give you the details. We'll give you the facts on Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick. Here's Eddie Frederick.
So glad you can join us. Ancil Rougier of Trinidad and Tobago's Patriotic Energies still hopeful when it comes to closing the deal for the Petrotrin Refinery. This story takes the lead in our 977th edition of Caribbean Perspective for Tuesday, 3rd November 2020. Details after this important message.
The hurricane season is now upon us, so we as Caribbean people need to remember to think safety and be prepared. Avoid venturing outside during a storm or hurricane, especially if there are strong winds. Rooftops and other debris are often blown about and can cause great damage.
Welcome back. On Sunday, Ancil Rougier, director with the Patriotic Energies, called for the independent evaluation committee set up by the cabinet to look at the documents submitted on Thursday in time to beat the October 31st deadline. The OWTU leader says Patriotic was surprised at the rejection of its bid announced on Saturday by the Energy Minister. TV6's Nicholas Lutchman Singh has more.
President General of the OWTU and Director of Patriotic Energies and Technologies Limited, Ancil Rougier, said after prolonged negotiations with the government, 3 issues were raised in the ongoing bid for the assets of the Petrotrin Refinery, and they are purchasing price financing, restart financing, and first priority lien, which is the main issue dealing with the hold the financial institutions and financiers will have on the assets.
The issue of first priority lien, that is the main issue here in this whole acquisition process stumbling block. The number 3 issue is the main issue, and you would see throughout this chronology of events that I'm going to take you through, you would see where we would have satisfied number 1, number 2, and of course, indeed, number 3.
In listing the chronology of events beginning August 2019, Ancil Rougier said the Minister of Finance would have announced that Patriotic Energies would have been the preferred bidder, willing to pay $700 million US upfront.
Meanwhile, the United National Congress is supporting the call made by Patriotic Energies and Technologies Limited to have its proposal reviewed by the Independent Evaluation Committee, which was appointed by the Cabinet. Alicia Boucher of TV6 News has the details.
What happens now? It's the question Public Relations Officer of the United National Congress, Anita Haynes, believes the government has to answer in relation to the Pointe-a-Pierre refinery and the plans for it.
The government must account us and tell us what is going to happen next. How long is another bidder going to take to come into the sector? The longer we leave this refinery closed, how much value for money are we going to get? You see, it boggles the mind that they can be so traveling with billions of dollars of state assets and the very bread and butter of our nation.
On Saturday, Energy Minister Franklin Can indicated that the government is now in a position to consider all of its options with the intention to get private capital injected into the refinery following the failing of the deal with Patriotic Energies. Haynes believes there is merit in Ancil Rougier's speculation that the final proposal submitted by Patriotic Energies at 10:07 p.m. on October 29th was not properly considered before Can's pronouncement on October 31st.
Absolutely, the timeline seems to be a little tight. But I think that, again, that raises more questions, as in, well, how is it that they came to a decision so quickly? Before Mr. Rougier gets to this question of reviewing it, he needs to ask, how is it that they managed to do it so quickly? Or is it that that decision was taken before the proposal was even received?
She is of the opinion that before the 2020 general election, the government created an impression that it was a done deal, only for it to be rejected months later. As for the actual call made by Rougier for the proposal to be put before the Cabinet-appointed Evaluation Committee, Haynes says the UNC supports this, especially if it provides more clarity.
Any independent evaluation committee that can give the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago coherent, clear and transparent information about our refinery, because it is our refinery. It belongs to all of us. I think that's worthy of pursuing.
Alicia Boucher, TV6 News.
Over in Guyana, local government elections must be held so that the communities can choose their leaders. It is imperative that work begins to ensure that GCOM is ready and prepared for elections in Guyana. More details in this report from HGP's Wendell Badri.
The leader of the opposition, Joseph Harmon, made those remarks at a function held at the office of the Regional Democratic Council, RDC, of Region 4, Demerara Mahaica, on Wednesday, where he met with the newly elected chairman, Daniel Siram, vice chairman, Samuel Sandy, and several councillors of the RDC. The opposition leader stated the following.
These are more compelling signs that the regime is intent on going back to the days of being a dictatorship in Guyana. So this must be a very clear signal to all who know their ABC alphabet and those who have ears to hear that the people of Guyana will resist a dictatorship of the PPP. Local government elections must be held.
Harmon's comments follow remarks made by the president of the country, Mohammed Irfan Ali, on the sidelines of an event at the Artichon Conference Center on Monday, where he said that local government elections would not be held until issues at GCOM are resolved.
I'm not getting into local government elections now. What, as a people and the media, and I think, Nazima, you mentioned this some time ago, what we have to do is to fix what is there for us. We have to ensure that we have a system that is working, a system that we can trust, a system that is professional, a system that operates in an unbiased manner so that the people of our country can have confidence.
The opposition leader in response noted.
In this regard, the APNU AFC takes serious umbrage to statements made by President Irfan Ali to the effect that local government elections, which is constitutionally due in 2021, will not be held until GCOM is fixed, and in that sense, fixed to the satisfaction of the PPP.
According to the Constitution of Guyana, at Article 71(1), local government is a vital aspect of democracy and shall be organized so as to involve as many people as possible in the task of managing and developing the communities in which they live. And in Article 71(2), it states that for this purpose, Parliament shall provide for a countrywide system of local government through the establishment of organs of local democratic power as an integral part of the political organization of the state. Meanwhile, during a question and answer segment, Harmon also noted that there are several channels which can and will be followed to ensure that the incumbent caters for LGE in the 2021 budget, and further to ensure that the local election is held when it is constitutionally due.
So, as I said to you, protest is about one form of action. There are other forms which I said we can take in the National Assembly, and there are others which we are considering. But the PPP must understand that we will not sit by and see them trample on the rights of Guyanese people. We will not sit by and see them violate our constitution with impunity.
On page 7 and chapter 2.1 of the Councillors and Municipalities Handbook, where it speaks to an introduction of local government in Guyana, it states that Articles 74, 1 to 3 of the Constitution sets out the overall duties of local democratic organs as the efficient management and development of their areas, the organization of public cooperation within the area, and the improvement of working and living conditions, promotion of social and cultural life, preservation of law and order, and safeguarding of the rights of citizens. Further, in Chapter 2.3, it points out that effective local governance is democracy in action. It enables citizens from all sectors of society to actualize their right to participate in decision-making about the issues that affect them. Wendell Badri for HGP Nightly News.
You're listening to Caribbean Perspective with Eddie Frederick.
It is a constitutional obligation and it is an insult to tell the Guyanese people that he, President Ali, cannot abide by the Constitution, said former President David Granger. Details in this report from Wendell Badri.
Former President David Granger made those remarks while appearing on The Public Interest, a show hosted by Randolph Critchlow that was publicized on the APNU AFC's Facebook page on Friday. He was asked to offer his reactions to statements made by the President, Irfan Ali, on the sidelines of an event which His Excellency attended on Monday at the Artichon Conference Center, where he told members of the media that local government elections would not be held until the Ghana Elections Commission is fixed. President Ali, while at the event, stated,
What we have to do is to fix what is there for us. We have to ensure that we have a system that is working, a system that we can trust, a system that is professional, a system that operates in an unbiased manner so that the people of our country can have confidence.
To the President's remarks, Granger retorted,
What if he feels that the Election Commission can be fixed next year, can be fixed the following year or the following year? He does not have that right. And the Guyanese people are going to resist any attempt to take away from them their right to have local government elections.
Granger stated that the matter of local government elections is close to his heart, since he was on the front line picketing at the office of the President, calling on the then Donald Ramatara administration to hold local government elections. He mentioned that 10 months after being elected to office, his administration was able to hold local government elections and was able to repeat this feat 2 years later.
He is insulting the Guyanese nation to say that they can't hold local government elections next year, December, when they're due. My government held local government elections. Even though we didn't win, the PPP performed better than my party.
The former president also said that local government is central to the administration of the country, and that his administration understood the importance of neighborhood democratic councils, NDCs. Hence, the APNU AFC, during its tenure in office, ensured that those NDCs were adequately funded so that communities could manage their own affairs.
People need local government, and the PPP has a sordid record during its term of office. Even though local government elections were held in the 1990s, the PPP removed 36 neighborhood democratic councils in this country and replaced them with their own hand-picked IMCs. All of them failed.
Granger asserted that democracy is provided for in the Constitution, and the vehicle that facilitates this is through local government elections. He said that the APNU AFC will continue to agitate for local government elections.
People in other countries are astonished that the PPP could have gone on for 20 years without holding local government elections, but they're not going to do it again. They're not going to do it again.
Wendell Badri for HGP Nightly News.
As Jamaica continues to fight against COVID-19, the Health Ministry has listed 2 areas of great concern. Acting Chief Medical Officer Dr. Karen Webster Carr elaborated during last Thursday's COVID conversation. Herman Green of TVJ News has more.
When we look at the top 20 communities, and in particular the communities, the active cases in the last 2 weeks, these are the communities that came out on top. St. James, the Greater Montego Bay area, and the downtown Kingston area are the areas of greatest concern.
In relation to Western parishes, the regional epidemiologist at the Western Regional Health Authority noted that of the number of deaths nationally, 53 are from the western end of the island.
In terms of breakdown by parishes, we have St. James reported most of the cases with 859 cases, with 63% of the total in the region, followed by 216 or 16% of the total, and 11% or 154 cases reported in Trelawney, and 136 or 10% reported in Hanover, parish of Hanover. All those reported, between 72 or 75% of those cases have already recovered.
Dr. Webster Carr says while there has been a reduction in the number of cases, it's still not where the ministry is hoping it to be.
I am Eddie Frederick. This has been Caribbean Perspective, a whole new approach to highlighting developments in the Caribbean. In the meantime, please continue to log on to CaribbeanPerspective.com for more daily news and more.